All right, it's another Wednesday night, and you're welcome to the adults class. And it's me, myself, the one and only Papa Kwamina. You can call me Mr. Smooth. Adult class would continue as we do. Today is the first episode for the year 2020, and let me say a happy new year to all the wonderful and amazing students of the adults class. Mr. Chawina, Moana Fishapa, Fee. Young parboy de Yamaboko ye ama ubia na yetu asasa ya adwen na yama enyama yentu miyenyen yetu ma ye afima bibia ko yama. Yes, there's one thing you should always know, that so long as the mind can conceive and the mind can believe, the mind can achieve. So long as the mind can conceive and then you believe, you can achieve. Mebedwin hu bia na ebegie de wonsabutuma se ekede entum but ekede botuma ebotum. Yes, last year we did some amazing lessons, and last week a recording was played back from one of the episodes we had. Interesting. We're talking about the 9 levels of female orgasms, and then we also looked at how you play with the clit to give a woman one of the very amazing clitoral orgasms. We're going to take off from there, but I have to let you understand, or the matter that being a man and a woman, their organs are virtually the same. When you look at the male sex organ and the female sex organ, originally they are from this, and they have the same source. The difference is just hormonal, and it is that hormonal changes that causes the difference that we have. So I'm going to show you a picture of the male organ, how it actually looks from the inside, and show you a picture of the clitoris, how it looks from the inside. Then we can do the comparison, and then we are going to understand a few things. So the class starts. We are talking about the second part of how to finger your way into giving a woman an orgasm. Yes, how to use your fingers to give a woman an orgasm. But let's look at these sex organs. Let's look at them, and then we can be able to proceed from there. So so let's go. Let's look at this first picture. Okay, here you have a typical example of the male sex organ. You have a typical example of the male sex organ, and then you have the right here. You can see the male, the head of the penis, or the gland penis, and then you can see the shaft all the way here. You can see the shaft all the way here, and then the shaft also has legs. The same way you have the clitoris. This is the gland or the head of the clitoris. The clitoris also has a shaft. This is the shaft, if you can see my pointer moving, and then the clitoris also has legs. So if you don't know, that is it. Now if you look at the male penis, you can see under here the head and then the shaft. You can see a vein here called the frenulum. This is a vein called the frenulum. The women also have that vein called the frenulum. And the frenulum is one of the most sensitive parts of the male organ. But most times, women and men themselves ignore that part and just concentrate on the gland penis, the head, or the corona, and the scalus. Most times that is where people focus on. They look at the round part, the front part of it. But the under, that vein that joins the head, to the shaft, called the frenulum, is also very, very sensitive. Inti that there, benin ni benin, no ni besian, or yet the same thing. The only difference is the benin is in so chimbesian. Inti say the besian is like kesepa mama onye onwa, because ningina is coming from the same structure. They all have the same structure. The clitoris has legs. Next, I would want to show you the anatomy, the proper anatomy of a woman, and then we can proceed from there, and then you can understand what I am going to be teaching you today. Okay, now if you look at the female anatomy, you are seeing here, right here, you are seeing the hymen. So on top here you have the pubic hair, you have the clitoral hood, and then you have the clitoris inside here. The clitoris is right here where the pointer is, and then around the clitoris down here you have the labia minora, and then the outside here you have the labia majora. Down here you can see the Bartholin gland. There are two of them on both sides, and this one you can see the hymen. So this is where the hymen is. This is where a virgin would have the hymen, and when she has a first penetrative sex, this hymen is broken. Now this is a typical picture of this whole thing I'm talking about. So you have the clitoral hood up here, you have the clitoris itself, and then you see this is the urethra. This is where the urine comes from. This is the hole from which the urine comes from. You should take note of that. And then between the clitoris, which you have up here, and where the urine comes from, you can see this area here. This area here is referred to as the U spot. The letter U is referred to as the U spot. You should know that. And then this is actually the vaginal opening, and then this is the perineum. The perineum. So this is how the female vagina actually looks like. Next, I'm showing you more details of the look of the vagina. This is another form of the anatomy that shows you the inner thigh, the outer thigh, the Ske's gland. The Ske's gland is directly under the urethra. There's a gland there called the Ske's gland, and that Ske's gland is the equivalent of the male prostate. So I hear people say that the female doesn't have a prostate gland. Yes, the female prostate will not enlarge for her to have a problem with the prostate, but there's a gland there called the Ske's gland that is equivalent to that of the male prostate, and that should be made clear for everyone to understand. And it is for that reason I brought this very one. And then also we have the Bartholin glands. There are two of them, the Bartholin glands on the left side and the right side, all around the vulva area, called the Bartholin glands. And they are responsible for secreting of the vaginal fluids. Yes, I mean they secrete the vaginal fluids. It's called the Bartholin glands. Next, we are going to be looking at the structure itself of the vagina. Now, so you see, this is the head of the clitoris, the gland clitoris, and this is how big it is. For some women, it's even bigger. And then the clitoris, like I said, has legs. You have the coral, and then they run all the way around the vagina. So this is the urethra where the urine passes. This one is the urethra, and this is the vagina opening. This side is the vaginal opening. The vaginal opening. This is where the urine actually passes. This side is where the urine passes, and then this is the vaginal opening. And all this area is under the labia majora, under the behind or under the labia majora. So even when you rub your hand around the labia majora, you still have access to parts of the clitoris. You still have access to parts of the clitoris. So here, under the clitoris, you still have the frenulum, just like the male sex organ. When you remove the foreskin, the foreskin is just like that of the woman's clitoral hood. When you pull off the foreskin and you raise the clitoris, you can see the clitoral hood. So that is the essence of making you see all these images here today. Next, I am going to start an amazing lesson. Now, before you start stimulating or working on the female frenulum, before you start stimulating or working on the female frenulum, first of all, you would have to make sure that your fingernails are very clean. You should make sure you have had some good cleanup on your fingers. Your fingers are properly trimmed. You don't have any dirt inside your fingers, because if there's dirt in the fingers, you may have the woman having an infection. And Mr. P one pede benyinde one sabeshe wase, because when you're there benyinde nesa obenya infections. And I can tell you there are very good products around able to me use na ezabo ho bana say enyu kunda na so nesa shawasa enya infection bia. In there we're going to do a little bit of some very practical work, and when we get there we are going to be looking at practically how you use your fingers to give some stimulation, some fun, some joy to the female private area. And we are going to start with the frenulum. The frenulum, like I said, like I've already shown you, is that part of the clitoris, is the head of the clitoris. So when you have the clitoris like that, you have the gland clitoris. Under the gland clitoris, there's a vein that links the head of the clitoris to the leg, to the cora. That gland under there, or that part of it, is called the frenulum, and it's also very, very sensitive. So don't just focus on the top of the clitoris or under the clitoral hood or on the clitoral hood. Also look at under the clitoris itself, the head of the clitoris itself. So I'm going to do as usual, I'm going to have a demonstration here. I have my dummy. My dummy is set, and then before you start, like I said, you should have very clean fingers. Your fingers should be very, very clean when you start. And what we are going to do is we are going to be looking at the thumb push-up. The thumb push-up. And when we the thumb brush up, sorry, the thumb brush up. So it means we're going to use the thumb to brush the frenulum. So before then, you should ensure that you have lubricated well the woman's private area. So you start with your foreplay and ensure that it is very, 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 very well lubricated. So if you don't have, first of all, you should play around all the non-sensitive areas and make sure that the woman is well lubricated before you start doing this particular act. So I have my dummy, and I'm going to show you or demonstrate to you how you do the thumb brush up. So this is my thumb, and all I'm doing is I place it on the side, and this is the clitoris, so I'm just moving it up. So here I am doing the thumb brush up. The thumb brush up. You can do it slowly, and you can also increase the pace. You can also increase the pace. Now, you can also do another variation of the same move. Instead of using the thumb to brush up, you can do the thumb brush up to the left and the right. The thumb brush up to the left and the right. So you're doing it left and right like that, left and right like that. That gives you a different feel and a different sensation. And while you are doing that, you should be observing the woman, check how she is feeling, and then you can increase the pace, and then you can also slow it down. That is the first technique, which is the thumb brush up and the thumb brush up. The thumb brush up and then the thumb brushing to the left and the right. You can do both together. Great. The next thing we'll be looking at is using the index finger, to do the brushing. Now you're using the index finger on the frenulum. So you know the frenulum is right under the clitoris. The frenulum is right under the clitoris here. So right under here. So what you're doing is you are doing a brush up of the frenulum. So this is how you do the brush up. Your hand goes under the clitoris and then you lift it up. So this is how you do it. You can do it slowly and you can also increase the pace. And here you are ensuring that your finger is going under the clitoris, and then you are getting the head of the clitoris, and this is how you get it going. So you can get it going in this manner and in this fashion, like that. And you can also increase the speed and then observe the way the woman is moaning, and then we can all get going from that point. Great. I hope you get these first two. Next, we are still on the frenulum. You can also have your double finger, the index finger and your middle finger, and then you are rubbing on the frenulum like that. So you're going in turns on the frenulum. So if this is the frenulum, you are going in turns on the frenulum like that. You're going up and down, and you can also increase the pace so that you can be able to. So this is the head of the clitoris, and this is under the clitoris. This side is under the clitoris, and then you're having both fingers under the clitoris. So the concentration is not on the top of the clitoris, but rather under the clitoris. And then you can see the rhythm I am engaging in. Just go in that rhythm, Say ayan demia, inya dem rhythm na dama. Then the woman or besian na hwemesima besian or respond ofa. Say besian na nya region ho a ebotuma increase speed kakra, but one yen zen ayan boko ewa, but ayan boko na ama speed kakra bam. Say hwe na say besian open slowly, you just slow it down on it. We are going to have a little combination of the frenulum and then the clitoral head. So what you do is you have your brush there, and you can even use two hands into one circle kokromotin da besian ne clitoris no top no do na across the nase. Then while you are rubbing the top, you are also playing with the frenulum at the same time. So you are having double fun. One finger at the top doing the rubbing, and then you have two fingers or one finger under also doing the frenulum. So you are rubbing the clitoris on the top, and then also having the frenulum also massaged. And then normally when a woman gets a clitoral orgasm, what she is going to do is she's going to take your finger off. She's going to make you stop what you're doing because it becomes too sensitive. And then once you see the woman push your finger off, it means you have succeeded in giving her a very wonderful clitoral orgasm. And that is your target. You want to give her a number of orgasms before you actually start penetrating or anything penetrative. That is what you should look at. Or there, sure, there, Besiana, and you be share one payment. No way, son, a number of times, and sana, one can do Sebu, do being in Ashanasi, and I start in Pema Gruzin. In Pema Gruzin, or start with Agria Yeche, or start with Meye, and Sa Ujuma, and I'm saying there, Besabia, one can, into me yet a mati, into a day, sure, there, one yinka. And I said, Yinka, or they being so sure there. On fa nisam fee and an easy ban waiting from Beshawasi. Until you have to make sure you have taken very good care of your hygiene when home and I was say and you're sure of what you have. You can contact me. I'll get you some very good products. I to me user and they clean up. When you are doing these things, you'll not be afraid of any infections. Great. Until you call this level. Share the next level into the index finger brush up. The next thing you there on the same frenulum on the same frenulum, we can have another feel of it. Now, may I hear first then, what we did initially was using two fingers, and then we use one finger, and then we use two fingers, and then we also use the thumb. Now this time, we can use the side of our hands, the side of the index finger. So if the clitoris is big, this is the clitoris, and then this is your hand. So you place your hand under the clitoris, and then you rub this way. You rub left and right like that under the clitoris, and then you can go it in circles, especially if the clitoris is big. But if the clitoris is small, you move it this way. You move it this way, and as you continue to rub it in this fashion, you get the woman having some amazing orgasms. So we can do it this way. We can rub it this way, all the way this way. So here, if I'm using my doll, all I am doing is I place my finger here, and then I rub in this fashion. I think my hand is blocking. So like that, you rub in this fashion. You rub left and right like that, left and right under the clitoris. That is what you're doing. So you can use this side of your finger, or you can use that side of your finger. And like I said, you have to make sure that she's very wet so that it doesn't cause any bruises. You have to make sure that it doesn't cause any bruises. So what I'm saying is, this is the clitoris, and then under the clitoris, you can use your finger to rub left and right like that, just side by side, under the clitoral hood, where we have the frenulum. Basically, that is it. And then I keep saying that in such things, rhythm is very, very important. You need to keep a certain rhythm to be able to get the woman excited. Say ayan basa basa, amina, there's no rhythm. Inti oide say inya botepa na say once na say ya, that's a ayan in this direction now. You make sure that ayan gently and in a rhythm. 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. Another ayan 1 2 3. Oh, I'm doing it in circles. I'm just keeping my 1 2 3 rhythm. So the rhythm in all the act is very, very, very important. You need to keep a very wonderful rhythm when you are around this area. So I have shown you how you use your thumb to move up, do up the frenulum push-up or brush-up, and I've shown you how to use one finger to do the frenulum brush-up. I've shown you how you use double finger to do the frenulum brush-up. I've shown you how to use your finger to do the side of the frenulum brush-up, and I've shown you how you can use the other side of your hand to also do the frenulum brush-up. So these are 4 basic techniques that you can use in engaging the frenulum, just the frenulum. And I told you the frenulum is right under the clitoris. It is that vein that connects the head of the clitoris to the shaft or to the body. Great. Next, we'll be jumping into one other side of it. We'll be looking at the U spot. Okay, you can also use the tongue to do the play, but here I will not use the tongue. I will leave the tongue work for another time. I'm going to do a very unique show privately on how you can use your tongue to stimulate the entire private area of a woman. So just keep watching the adult class. I am going to announce a date that we are going to have a private session, and we'll be teaching you how we do that one. So next, like I told you, you need to be aware of the U spot. So I want them to see the U spot. I showed them the U spot, and you can see where I have labeled as the U spot. You can see it, and the U spot is right under the urethra. Like I told you, is right under the urethra, and you have to be able to make sure you get some good sensation around that area. Good sensation around that area. Now this is what you do if you want to stimulate the U spot. This is what you do if you want to stimulate the U spot. Now, looking at my door here, the U spot is not too obvious. Let's have a look at it. So if you lift the clitoris and then you see where the urine comes from, right on top of where the urine comes from is the U spot. Right on top of it is the U spot. So here, all we are doing is using your finger on the U spot. So you move your finger side by side on the U spot. You are not putting your finger inside here. Your finger is not going inside here, but just on top of where the urine comes from, and then you do your circles. So you can rub it in circles. You can rub it in circles. You can rub side by side, and then you can rub it from the U spot together with the frenulum and the clitoris. The U spot together with the frenulum and the clitoris. So here, your finger is not coming inside here, but it is just right here on top of the clitoris and the U spot. So this is all that you are doing, but your finger is concentrated right where the urine comes from. That is where the U spot is. So you could just have a little circles there, but this area is extremely sensitive, so you should have very soft fingers, very neat fingers, so that she will not get any bruises when you touch it. And then when she is enjoying what you are doing, just observe it. Check the way she is moaning, check the way she's responding to what you're doing, and then when she loves it, you can also feel it. So you see what I'm doing? I'm doing it very gently on the U spot, very gently, and I can also add the entire clitoris from the clitoral hood all the way down to the U spot. So I pick it in here, inside the U spot, and then I move all the way up to the clitoris. I come to the U spot, I move it all the way up. So you could just rub it up like that. You could just engage the U spot with the clitoris. So here you'll be doing the U spot, the frenulum brush, and then also you'll be rubbing on the clitoris, the clitoral hood as well. Because once you are moving your hand on top of the clitoris, you move the clitoral hood and you'll get the clitoral gland or the clitoris gland. So when your hand comes down to the U spot, you will get the frenulum and the head of the clitoris. And this is also very, very sensitive for most women. And most times when women are masturbating, that is where they actually do. So you can do it in circles here too. So you can see, you can do it in circles with 2 fingers. I'm doing the U spot and the entire clitoris as well. You can do it up and down like that. And then you can also do it in circles, but your finger is not going in, you're just doing in circles, rub it. So you can do it very, very fast when a woman is responding, or when a woman is about to come. You can do it very, 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 very fast, and you can also slow down. And normally you should start with a slow, very, very slow tempo, and then you can increase it and add a little variation to whatever you are doing. You can also decide that you would have one finger on the U spot and the other finger on the clitoris. So this is what you'll be doing. You'll be rubbing the clitoris with your thumb, and then you have another finger doing the U spot stimulation. So this is one of the things that you can do with the U spot stimulations. The lessons, we have a lot of stuff to teach you, and I can tell you that on adults class, this is real education. And I'm sure those of you who watch this show know that there is no show that teaches you these things. Yes, I know some people are trying to imitate us, trying to copy some of the stuff we do, but don't worry. The adult class, me myself, Mr. Smooth, we're going to give you always going to give you the best. So with this tip, you have to ensure that the place is well lubricated, and like I said, this is how you give a woman a very, very wonderful clitoral stimulation. So next we are going to look at the clitoris and the labia stimulation. The clitoris and the labia stimulation. So first of all, like I said, you need to ensure that the woman is protected, no infections from your fingers. You just don't go and eat whatever food and come and put your fingers in there. You have to make sure your fingers are properly washed. And you also have to make sure the woman is properly wet or lubricated. You can do this with a massage oil, or you can do this with a very good gel that protects her from all the infections. The massage oil I'm doing has some little mint, so as I sit here I can smell all the mint, and it's very, very romantic. And the aroma, the air here is amazing. I'm enjoying I'm enjoying teaching you while I talk as well. So let's see how we can get this this done. I'm saying that you're massaging the clitoris with the labia. You know, the labia, we have the labia majora, we have the labia minora. So we are going to look at the labia majora, how you play with the clit and the labia majora, and then how you play with the clit and the labia minora, and then also how you can play with the clit and graciously move down the perineum and then move all the way up to the clitoris as well. You repeat this a number of times. You observe the way the woman is feeling, and then we can progress from that point. So let's see how we do this demonstration here. So here you have your thumb, or you can use any of the clitoral stimulations that I've taught you already. So you are rubbing the clit in circles, and then you can have one hand also playing around the labia majora. So you're just rubbing like that, and then you can rub in circles while the clitoris and the other hand is still rubbing on the clitoris. And this is a very amazing way of giving a woman some amazing orgasms. You see, so here I'm exploring the entire leg of the clitoris, which is lining inside here. So there's one side here and there's one side there. So I'm using the back of my hand to get this side, and then I come all the way up here and I get this side. So I can even decide to rub it in circles like that. But since I am doing one with the other thumb, I could just stay on one side for a while, or I could swap and then use my thumb. I could swap and use my thumb on the other side. So the thumb is rubbing the other side of the labia, and then the other finger is rubbing on the clitoris. So this is what you do with the double stimulation, stimulating the clitoris and the side of the labia. You can also go one step further, and that step further is just doing the inner labia. So you are doing the inner labia. Your finger is not going inside her. You're not going inside her. So if this is the vagina, the clitoris is up here, the majora is outside here, the minora is inside here. So what you're doing is you're just moving your finger around here. So you can go clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise, and you can keep a rhythm. You can go clockwise, anti-clockwise. Just keep a rhythm going, and then you can also do it with a certain pace. So that makes it very exciting for the woman. So that is one other lesson that we are teaching you today. And then also here, the next lesson we are doing for today, do I have time? The next lesson we are doing for today is the next lesson I'm doing for today is using one finger or one hand on the clitoris and the other hand inside the vagina. Not deep inside the vagina, but just about a knuckle or two inside the vagina. So you can see how the woman feels. You can see the woman wet and dripping. You can feel all the wetness in there, and then you decide not to push your finger deep, just around the entrance. So this is what I'm talking about. So I have a toy here with a very small thing. So I have to force to put stuff inside. Don't mind me. All right. So this is This is my thumb. I hold my thumb. I like using my thumb a lot. It adds to the fun. And then I use my index finger. And then I don't push it in deep. I just stay around here and I rub in circles. So I'm keeping the rhythm. I am rubbing my thumb in circles. My thumb is going in circles and my finger is also going the other way around. So when this one is moving this way, this one is also going that way. Or you can have your thumb go up and down, and then you just do a gentle come here, a very gentle come here with your index finger. So you can have the gentle come here without really pushing your finger in, but you just do a gentle come here with your thumb. So basically this is what one other technique you can do. You can interchange the fingers, you can interchange the hands depending on where you are lying, and then also you can add a little bit of the perineum. So this side is the perineum, this side is the anus, right? This side is the anus. We're not touching the side. So you see this space between the vagina and the anus also carries some amazing nerve endings. So you can have your thumb here and then you just rub from the perineum all the way up. You rub from the perineum all the way up. So you rub from the perineum all the way up. And this also adds to the fun. So you can be doing different variations of this without necessarily putting your finger in there, but just around the perineum, and then you ping it up around just the entrance and close to the clit. You have to avoid the other side of it. I don't mind me, avoid that side. So just go all the way down to the perineum, the muscle there, just rub a little. It's also very sensitive, and then you can rub it all the way up. Good. So here we have also learned how we can have just the entrance there and be able to stimulate and get some amazing feeling for the woman. All right, so we can also do rubbing the vaginal wall in circles while we still have a play on the clit. So whatever technique you are comfortable with a clitoris that we learned, right, whatever technique, you can then add a second one to it. So I am rubbing the clit and moving my hand in circles just around the entrance of the vagina, and then you repeat this a number of times. Observe the way the woman is responding, and Mustafa is watching this like crazy. And then you watch the way the woman is moaning, and then you can reverse this whole thing. So you can do it clockwise one way, and you can also do it anti-clockwise the other way. So that is it. And then you can also have another wonderful orgasm for the woman. Next, we are going to go to some area that most people are aware of but do not really know what to make out of it. Yes, we have a part of the woman's private area that we call the urethra sponge. It was actually discovered by a doctor called Grafenberg. So it was named after him, and that place is called the Grafenberg spot because when he died it was named after him, Dr. Grafenberg. So I think it was German or so. So that area or that part is called Grafenberg spot or the G spot. The Grafenberg spot or the G spot. So here the G spot is located directly under the pubic hair. So if you look at the image I have there, just about two or three knuckles inside the vagina, but this time up. The G spot is wrapped around the urethra. It is wrapped around the urethra. The urethra is the line or pipe through which the urine passes through, and it is the G spot that is usually, I'm saying usually, responsible for what we call the female ejaculation or the squirt orgasm. The female ejaculation or the squirt orgasm. Analysis of the squirt or the female ejaculation has certain features that makes science believe that women also have a prostate. That is why we have identified the prostate gland. I don't want to go into too much of the science, but the fact is the fluid that comes is not urine. Usually what you see on porns and stuff, usually I discourage people from watching those things. They are all made up. They are fake. They are edited stuff just to mess people's brains up. Those fountains that flash and stuff are just urine. But a typical squirt orgasm is about a teaspoon or a tablespoon full of fluid. And usually, if it is from the urethral sponge and has all the elements that that you can find in the male sperm, it actually gets on your bed and it does a design on the bed. And when even it dries, you still see the drawing there. If it is sperm, the sperm dries off, you don't even see it. But if it is a squirt, it leaves a trace, like a urine will leave a trace on the bed. And if it's a squirt and you try to clean, it foams. If it's a squirt and you try to clean, it will foam. So basically, that is how the Grafenberg spot looks like. Now, I've just been told that my time is up, and the lessons I was doing was a little too. But I think I have some 5 minutes, so I'll use 2 minutes to just, wind up, and then we'll see if we can pick a few calls. Okay, we'll see if we can pick we can pick calls, I'm told. So next week when we come, we'll look at how we deal with the Grafenberg spot, and then all who have sent me messages, I'm going to read them and I'm going to answer you privately. I'm sure you have enjoyed today's class, and wherever you are, whatever you do, my contact is on the screen. If you have any of those vaginal infections you're not comfortable about, those who are finding it difficult to have kids, just contact me. Let's find help for you. And the men who are having the premature ejaculations and erectile dysfunctions, contact me. We can find help for you. And we are still looking for sponsors to sponsor this amazing education we have here on ATV and GNTV every Wednesday. And I'm also looking for sponsors to sponsor my clothes, my hat, and yes, my shoes and all this stuff. So my contact is on the screen. Call me and let's get interactive. Let's talk. And those in Kumasi, I'll be in Kumasi probably Friday, Saturday for some business trips. So till next week when we come your way with another very wonderful education. I'm sure nobody teaches this stuff on TV, and yes, those copycats learn well. All right, so it is adults class. I keep saying it's the most educative adult class in the whole of Africa, and this is where you get to learn the things you think you know but you didn't really know. And my name is Mr. Smooth. You can call me Papa Kwamina, and I